What's up guys, JTails here with another video, and today I'm going to show you guys 6 beginner tips for Granblue Fantasy Versus if it's your first time playing. The first thing I want to talk about is spot dodging and why it's important. Spot dodging and rolling in particular. You want to make sure that you know which button is your guard button, because this allows you to spot dodge by holding guard and pressing back, as well as holding guard and pressing forward for rolling. The reason that this is important is because if you're ever in a projectile war with someone and you're kind of like both not making any ground, the reason that this is important is because as soon as a projectile disappears, your opponent can generate a new one, right? See that? However, if the projectile stays on the screen for a longer period of time, your opponent can't actually generate one until it gets off of the screen completely, right? So this is a great way to mess with your opponent's tempo and take away their tool for just a few seconds. It also just makes it redundant to, throw fireballs at fireballs and hope that the other person gets tired first and stuff like that. So spot dodging and rolling is a great way to get through projectiles and to make your opponent unable to use them for a short period of time. So if you're having trouble against projectiles, understand how to use your spot dodge and how to time it well. The second tip I have for you guys is take a look at the top right corner on Gran's cooldown, right? So we're gonna go ahead and do a light DP, which is forward, down, forward, light. And if I do the shortcut version, which is just holding forward and pressing R1, you'll notice that the cooldown is tremendously longer, right? So if you do the shortcut version of a move, the cooldown is actually way longer than normal, right? So those are the two on the top left. Now if I do the regular versions, notice how I can use my tools immediately. But if I do the shortcut, I have to wait, and I literally can't use that same move for about 3-4 seconds. So if you're using shortcuts in this game, just keep in mind that it makes your cooldown a little bit longer, and it might be worth getting used to the manual inputs. Speaking of shortcuts, I know that a lot of you guys might be new players, and doing the inputs for super might be a little bit strenuous in some cases, which is down forward heavy, or down forward unique, which is your X button if you're on pad, right? So that's one super, that's another super. You can actually do your supers by pressing down forward and R1, which is a shortcut button, and this makes it so much easier. Especially out of combos like sweep into super. So to do the unique super is down forward R1 and X simultaneously. Right, you can see my inputs on the left hand side. So if you're having trouble doing supers out of combos or anything like that, consider using the shortcut. And I think that you'll find a lot more consistency with that. Generally in fighting games, you're gonna have to block left or right, correct? So if you notice, I just held forward and now I'm holding left in order to block that cross up. But with the guard button, which is R2 if you're on pad, the guard button makes it so look at my inputs on the left hand side. I'm just gonna hold this. I'm not gonna do anything else. Even if I'm not blocking the right way, the guard button allows you to block cross-ups, so you don't have to guess left or right. The only thing you have to guess with the guard button is high or low. So for newer players, it can be a good thing if you don't know if something's going to cross up or not, to just hold down the guard button, and you don't have to actually physically guess the block yourself, because then you might guess wrong and get crossed up. I tend to do things manually, but I think for new players the guard button might be a good way to get acclimated with the game's engine and not have to deal with cross-ups and potentially lose a ton of life. So this setup that you saw is actually called a safe jump setup. After you sweep someone, if you hold up and forward and land on them with a hitbox, even if they use their invincible super or dragon punch, whatever the case may be, they cannot anti-air you. You will always block before they get to do it. Right? So you notice how my hitbox is basically on Catalina, and she's missing her... Oh, I was a little late on that one. And she's missing her DPs. Right? So what this does is that it allows me to apply pressure and bait the dragon punch. So if I bait the dragon punch, then I can get a big combo afterwards, right? And then she takes 6,000 damage. So my point being, guys, is that if you get used to the safe jump setup, which works for most characters in the game, it doesn't work for, well, it works for everybody, but the aerial that you have to do is different in order to make it work. But you always just sweep and then hold up and forward. And even no matter what option they choose, even if it's super, you'll always be able to block the moment that you touch the ground. In order to unlock more than the 4 basic colors, you can unlock extra colors by beating arcade mode with each character on nightmare difficulty and just in normal difficulty as well. And in order to unlock different weapon skins, you have to play the RPG mode and open the shop so that you can craft new weapons for your characters. So if you're wondering how to change those things, play the arcade mode, beat RPG mode, and get more materials to craft for the shop so that you can actually craft different weapon skins for your characters. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something that you didn't know before watching this. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. I also stream Granblue on Twitch and do viewer battles, stuff like that. So if any of you guys want to play against me, definitely feel free to join in. The link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time.